miss us 2 weeks
Couple
ago.
of Tuesdays. Couple of Tuesdays.
2 weeks ago. We are back. I am Kia McLean, and
Shymika Arnold, the DAR therapist.
yes. So, welcome to Date Affirm the Real. For those that are new that may be watching on YouTube, welcome and thank you.
Shymika Arnold, the DAR
And for
therapist. That was
those
me.
that for those that are returning, we appreciate your continued support. And Shamika and I are going to be talking about a topic that I think will be very helpful for everyone this evening, including us, right? And
Yes.
so we are going to be tackling something before the new year comes, and that is trying to create some healthy habits. Whether you're single, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're married, we want to talk about those things that will help you to have a much healthier year coming
Yes.
into the new year. So before we even get to the new year, we're talking about these things so that you can already start shifting your mindset in preparation of that. Ooh, you real light skinned
That
now.
was bright. That was bright. That was so bright. I'm like, woo. All right, everybody.
So I have some things I want to go through, and I'm going to ask you some questions as I go through those things, Shamika, to kind of help us to go a little bit deeper
Okay.
into these things. And
Let's
so,
go.
as I thought about like how to create some healthy habits as we go on the new year, I really want to provide some resources. I want to provide some steps that people can take so that it's not just us saying, create a healthier habit or create
Got you.
healthier habits, right? I want people to have something to leave with. So I'm going to say this. And as we continue talking, you can be walking away to get your paper and pen or get your notebook or get something, because this is one of those conversations where you might want to take some notes. Okay. So the first thing that you can do is the one thing that I'm constantly talking about. Can anybody guess what that is? Anybody? Okay. I'll just tell you because I think Shamika's gave you all the hints you need. What am I always talking about? Journaling.
Journaling.
so so here's a concept that you can try as a coupled person or a married couple. Yes, of course, journaling. Hey,
Journaling.
Keldrick.
Hello.
So you can do journaling as a single person. What are you over there doing? Oh, Doobie.
Doobie. God, dog. He about to knock the whole camera down.
Doobie.
Jeez.
And
God.
special appearance, it's Kia McLean and
Right.
Shamika Arnold. Special appearance, Doobie.
Doobie. Right. His little bow tie. It's a Christmas tie. Show the Christmas tie.
Aww. You look so cute, Doobie. So, um, journaling is extremely important. Now, I know when I say that to people, they're like, yeah, Kia, whatever. We're so tired of hearing about your journaling. It doesn't matter. We don't want to write, Kia.
Then
It's
don't.
just it's so stupid, Kia. Like,
Then
I
don't.
don't want to do it. And guess what I forgot
Damn.
to do? I forgot to turn the
That's
hourglass.
so the
So
times of hands.
when the hourglass ends, our conversation ends. So I'm a few minutes behind, but we got the hourglass going here, and I can sit that in front of me.
So are the sands of time. These are the days of our
Yes, the days of
lives.
our lives. And so, I brought some of my journals, some of my notebooks to kind of show you guys. Like, I keep
Yes.
things documented and I write things down. This particular journal is, I call this one more my affirmation one. Um, and I'll tell you, like, in this particular one, I say, I will have financial abundance. Wealth is something I deserve. I am happy and positive. I am eager to celebrate all the good comings to me from hard work, enthusiasm, and God given talents. I'm not going to
Yes.
read it all, but that's just a portion of it, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
then I have my affirmations. I am wealthy. I am peaceful. I am healing. I am an abundant thinker and receiver, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
this is just to show you guys, like, I practice what I preach.
Yes.
And I'm not just telling you to do these things just because it sounds good and it was in the book, and you know, and even the journal that my fitness coach had me keep. I keep that journal and I look at that journal,
Hmm.
right? So I
Mm-hmm.
can know, like, if I need to work out on my own, I know what exercises to do because I have
Right.
a journal of those exercises
Right.
and how to switch them up and when to switch them up. I've shared this journal with you all before. This ain't even a journal. I've shared this with you all before, what I wrote many years ago. My husband affirmations.
Wow.
Okay?
Yes.
And so here's the point. My point is, when you write your things out, something happens.
Mm-hmm.
You are not only writing it, you're speaking it, and you're believing it. And something starts to happen in your life. There's an energy shift,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so here's my question for you, Shamika.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready.
As a therapist,
As a therapist.
working with your clients,
Mm-hmm.
what is your recommendation to your clients about journaling?
Sometimes because most of my clients are like have a lot of anxiety because it's thoughts constantly running through their head. So I tell them just brain dump. Sometimes I tell them just brain dump and get it all out. And I
Mm-hmm.
tell them because I'm like, especially in the very beginning, because they can't even formulate. Okay, okay, you know what, Doopy? I'm gonna need you to get. Okay, I need you to get. You just get on that. I tell them because their mind is racing so much. I'm like, okay, right now, just brain dump. Just get everything that you are like, I gotta work on, I gotta do, and then when you brain dump, bring it into the session, and we'll go over the stuff that's realistic, unrealistic, irrational, rational, and create more rational, clear thoughts, and identify the ones that are unhealthy. And typically, when they brain dump, they start seeing themselves actually before they come into session. Like, okay, this was something I didn't have to worry about till next week or whatever. But so that's what I
Mm.
initially give them with because of the anxiety.
I hope you guys are taking notes. Like, this gonna be a little bit of a free therapy. But honestly, no, like, I never thought about the brain dump thing, right?
Hmm.
The brain dump thing, and I took notes on that because I like that concept, to be able to dump everything and then see, especially, I tend to be a little bit of a stressor sometimes, right? And
Hmm.
so what if, when I do the brain dump, I realize I'm stressing out about things that are not even immediate. You
Right.
know, they're not things that I have to really deal with right now. So let me just focus on the right now things. So I
Exactly.
love that brain dump
Hmm.
concept. So, like, it's added to my notes because it's something that I'm gonna start implementing in my journaling. So thank you
Right.
for that.
Thank you.
That was helpful.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
So there's singles journaling. If you're a single person, as I showed you, I wrote these husband affirmations when I was single,
Hmm.
and I'll share a few things that I wrote here. Because I believe you have to be very specific about
Hmm.
everything you want in life. You have to be
Hmm.
very specific. So I put, my husband supports me. Right? Now this one is really, my eye went straight to this one, and it's like midway down the page. Can you
It's
see it?
backwards. Well, I can't see.
Oh, uh how do I get it not to be backwards? How do I get, wait, wait, wait,
Nope.
wait.
It's
Uh
the Yep. It's no. It's like the cameras.
oh, the camera switch.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's about halfway down the page where I have, my husband supports me, and we're not married yet, okay? However, it's so ironic that everything that I put on here, Marcus possesses all of these things, right?
Oh, I love it.
I put my husband sacrifices.
Mm.
I put my husband is my best friend.
Mm.
I put my husband is a black man. I put my husband is kind.
Mm.
My husband is patient.
Mm.
So I was very
Like this.
specific. I was very specific. And yeah, he has all of these things.
Nice.
So when I say, like, there is some truth to this, there is some truth to writing those things out, believing those things, working on those things yourself,
Right.
right?
Right.
Like doing some of the work yourself.
That's right.
He is the ish. Yes,
Yes.
babe.
Yes, baby. Yes, baby. You are. You is. You is.
You are. And so, like, literally, the beauty of this is why you guys probably will get tired of me talking about journaling, but I'm living proof. Many of us are
Mhm.
living proof of writing these affirmations, journaling, being able, I'm able to go back and look at this a
Mhm.
lot and say, wow, I wrote this in 2016.
Mhm.
When I first moved to Dallas, I wrote this. I was freshly divorced.
Oh
I
wow.
was I was making a new start in a new city,
Mhm.
right? And I said, "Okay, Kia, it's time to get focused. It's time to get serious. What do you really want out of life?"
Mhm.
You know, I didn't want to get married another time and not be clear about who I wanted my husband to be.
Mhm.
And I sat down and I said, I'm writing affirmations for my life. I'm writing what I want to become, who I want to become. So I
Mhm.
need to write who I want my husband to become, who
Mhm.
I want my husband to be,
Right.
right? And that's when I sat down and actually I brainstormed first. And I said, what kind of attributes would I want in a man,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
And then that's how I came up with the list.
Right.
I put, my husband adores me. My husband is devoted.
Mhm.
So again, I got very, very clear about every little intricate and unique thing I wanted in a partner for me because
Yes.
I knew
Yes.
what type of things that I desired. I knew what type of mate that I was working towards becoming,
Mhm.
right? I may not have
Right.
been all those things then,
Right.
but
Right.
I started to do the work. And then when you start to do that work, you begin to attract those things,
Right.
right? So has anybody done any single journaling or just journaling in general about writing out your affirmations, writing out your desires, writing out, what it is that you want to become even in life?
Mhm.
Because you'll find that when you do that, it really is a energy shift. Even for you,
Mhm.
Shamika, have you done that or
Oh my gosh! When I had to take my test for licensure, I know that was a couple of things I wrote down. That I'm a confident, competent test taker because I had a lot of test anxiety, and so
mm,
I would write that down like over and over again, and I put on my refrigerator, and I would see it every day. And I'd be like, I am a competent, confident test taker.
mhm,
And start speaking those things. So yes, yes, I have. And I like, and too, like, even it's interesting too when I've like dated somebody, right? And I started journaling about them or writing about them. And it'd
mhm,
be like in the form of like, okay, let's like, who is this person? And then but you know what I would do too, in when I'm journaling, I feel like I would also pick up something else, right, while I'm journaling, right? Like I would be able to see certain stuff and then look back on it and be like, I knew then that this wasn't gonna be
yeah,
this. I
yeah,
knew then. So I would look back on something and be like, dang, I
mhm,
realized like I kind of was speaking already what was, what this was, what it was,
yeah,
and so I saw that it was a contradiction sometimes when I was like, okay, this is what it was, but then this is what I wanted to be, right?
yeah,
So I
yeah,
would see that like, oh, that's interesting, right? I was trying to make something be something that it wasn't supposed to be.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up because it really does speak to the significance of being able to go back and look at that. Why
Mm-hmm.
is that important? Well, it's important because I can't speak to that from a therapy side, but from an experience side, the benefit of that for me has been I can go back, I can look at some decisions that I made, I can look at some habits that certain people had, and that helps me to be like, okay, Kia, you've been here before. Don't repeat that. That would be a
Mm-hmm.
cycle for you, right?
Right.
So, like from the therapy side, I don't know what that term would be or like what you would tell a client that's being able
Well,
to identify that.
well, here's the thing too. I have because I'm like after the week, read back what's going on in the week because sometimes too, like what happens. So, and this is just aside from dating or anything, but like say come to session, right? Your session is once a week for 1 hour, and you say, "Oh, I had a horrible week. My week was so horrible." And really, when you look back on the journaling, if you look back on the days, you really had good days. You had more good days than you had bad, and maybe yesterday was the bad one. You was like the whole week was jacked. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you can't because you're only focused on the negative. You're only focused on what's wrong. You're not able or capable to see what the progress is. And most people that come in can never see their strength or their growth too sometimes because they're like, no, I'm not a good like I'm broken, right? And I'm like, I'm not broken. So sometimes when you're journaling, you can see, man, no, I remember this. I had a good day on Monday. Man, my Tuesday was even good. One thing happened. It was just one thing that happened that day, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so you took that one thing and you catastrophized it and messed up the whole week. So they're able to see that okay, I didn't have a whole bunch of bad days this week,
Yeah.
you know.
That is so good. Like I had to sit with that for a minute because I recognize that when I journal, but hearing it that way is I hope that helps somebody. I hope that somebody can understand the significance in the journaling because it really does help you to put things in perspective. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we really can create storms that really don't exist, right? And that's
And
journaling
this,
has so many benefits, but that's a major thing, right? You've
yeah,
created this whole thing that doesn't even exist. And when you journal and you go back and look at it, and look, we're not talking about writing a book, people. Like,
right,
we're not saying write a book.
right,
We're talking about take 10, maybe 15 minutes out of your day to jot down, uh, what happened that day, what emotions
mm-hmm.
came up that day,
Yep,
what so that you can go back and be able to say, okay, it's probably best that I don't go to this place. It's
mm-hmm.
probably best that I don't answer the phone when this person calls. That's a trigger for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so you get to identify those things
Mm-hmm.
and then work through those things so you're not repeating. That's how we get into just doing
Mm-hmm.
the same thing over and
Over
over
and
and
over and
over
over again.
because we're not paying attention to ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
Journaling is for you to pay attention to yourself, it's for you to
Be
learn
present.
yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because we are so on autopilot so much. You know,
Mm-hmm.
again, like that autopilot is like, oh, it's a horrible week. And it's like, wait, when you go back, you're like, wait a minute.
Hmm.
And your week goes by so fast when you're on autopilot and you're not present. So the journaling causes you to stop
Yes.
and let's reflect on the day. Let's reflect on what happened. Let's reflect on how I felt. Reflect on like those, something that was a positive. Let's reflect on something that was a negative, right? Or what we
Mm-hmm.
considered it to be a negative. So what if you did two positives and a negative before you go to bed? Two
Yeah.
positive things that occurred in the day and one negative. What if what
Yeah.
if that what if that was a good one of some journaling tips.
Man, that was good. I just thought about it. I said, let me tag Floyd because the last time he was like, I didn't even know you guys were live and I missed it. so,
Aw.
so I'm tagging him just to be sure that he doesn't miss out on it. If he's able to jump in. So that was so good. Oh, that was so good. I love that. That was helpful even to me as a journaler. As
Mm-hmm.
a journaler,
Journaler.
that was so good. So one of the other things is I talked about affirmations, but also having a goal book or a goal journal where you can write out your goals. You can write out the time span that you want to meet those goals.
Mm-hmm.
And so oftentimes we don't think about the 3 months, the 6 months, the year down the road because we get so consumed with right now and I don't have this and I don't have that and then you get so consumed with it. Like no, again, as Shamika said, be present, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in this present moment, what would you like to have?
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to have? Even if your goals are tomorrow, next week, what would you like to have? Write out those goals and then do what it takes to meet
Mm-hmm.
that goal or to reach that goal. Because if not, what will happen is a lot of times with goals, and I used to do this before I started writing everything down. When I say I write
Mm-hmm.
everything down,
Mm-hmm.
Marcus will tell you I got notebooks and paper in it everywhere, like everywhere.
Me too.
And even though I put stuff in my phone too, like it's just paper everywhere. So before I did that though, it was in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the thing I know about what happens when it's in your head. The amount of thoughts that go through our heads in a day means that the thoughts about my goals, the thoughts about the things I want, the thoughts about, hey, I want to have this amount of money, I want to have this level of success, I want to be able to do this, I want to do that. I know what happens. It gets pushed to the back because now I've had 5,000 more thoughts by the
Right.
end of the day.
Right.
So if I don't write it out, that means I'm not committing to myself.
Right.
That means I'm not taking myself seriously.
Mm-hmm.
That means I don't believe that I have enough time to devote to myself
Mm-hmm.
to write out the things that I desire.
Right.
What it all comes down to is we're not making time for us. Okay? We're not
Mm-hmm.
making time for us to do the things that we know will feed our spirit.
Mm-hmm.
We're just not. Because when you're staying busy, and Shamika, I'm going to have you speak to this, but when you're staying busy all the time, moving all around, and you don't want to sit with yourself, we talk
That's a
about
problem.
this. What
That's a problem.
what is that, Shamika,
A
when people do that?
distraction. You are distracting yourself from something. I remember I was there, and and I would have to be talking to somebody. I have to be on the phone with somebody. I have to be doing something and doing something. I have to be like, oh, and I'm good. Even like I would get up and like I attribute that to ADHD too. Where I get up, go in the room, I'm cleaning up, and then I'd be like, oh, wait, I need to go do this. And then I forget. I'm like, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I got, yeah. So I remember just being that, using that as a distraction,
Mm-hmm.
and and so when I realized, when I started working on me, I started realizing those were distractions. I didn't even realize it was a distraction where I couldn't sit with myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, the more I started loving myself, the more I was able to sit with myself. And so that's probably why people don't journal, because it causes you to sit with yourself
Mm-hmm.
and be present with yourself. And so that making that time for yourself, see, here's the thing, because if you're not making that time for yourself, you're again not you're not valuing you. You're not valuing you.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you distract, use the distractions and not putting yourself, giving yourself that time, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah.
You're doing
Yeah.
yourself a disservice.
You really are. And I think like that, man, I really kind of want to sit there for a minute because I want people to understand the significance of that. When you don't sit with yourself, you're trying to escape yourself.
Mm. Hmm.
When you don't sit with yourself, you're trying to escape yourself. And I did the same thing too, cousin, right? Like I tried to stay as busy as I could possibly stay. Um I called myself a workaholic in the
Mm-hmm.
name of It's because I don't want to see me. It's
Mm-hmm.
because I don't want to see me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I look, you already know that there's a level of nastiness, dirtiness.
Mm-hmm.
You there's some things with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you sit with that, you have to see that
Mm-hmm.
with
And
your
sometimes
own
it's hard to
eyes.
see that.
Nobody's telling you this. And what people think is it's hard for people to tell you that. It's hard for you to tell yourself that. That's what's hard. See,
Mm-hmm.
when people say that and it triggers you, okay. But when you got to tell yourself that yourself is toxic
Mm-hmm.
and yourself put yourself in that position and yourself did it to yourself, look here. There are things that are very, very difficult. And that's one of the most difficult things that I had to do.
Yes. Ooh, me too.
Like, I'm telling you, that hurt me to be able to be like, look here, while you was out here talking about you doing good deeds and you, no, that was your ego.
Hmm.
When you thought you was doing this and doing that, no, it was your brokenness that attracted somebody else's brokenness, and you did a little bit of healing and you thought you was better and you thought you could judge and you thought. So literally, I'm looking
Mm-hmm.
at myself and having to deal with myself. And
Right.
I have to acknowledge things about myself and hold myself accountable
Accountable.
and then do the work to try to reverse that.
And then, so here's the thing: what you do is when you do that, is you take yourself out of victim mode. When you do that,
That
so
part.
you can no longer hold. You can no longer blame anybody.
That part.
You only have yourself to blame.
Listen.
Hmm.
That is the thing. That's what I was talking about on the video last week. And I was like, I'm not a victim. Nobody did shit to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When you can stop blaming other people, when you can stop pointing the finger
Yep.
and trying to hold other people responsible for
Mm-hmm.
you and your
Your
life
choices and
choices,
you. Mm-hmm.
that's when you know you're getting somewhere. But
Yes.
that doesn't come overnight, right? Like you don't get to
Right.
write one journal entry and then the next day you like, oh look, I got it together. I'm good.
Mm-mm. At all.
But this is why people
At
don't
all.
do it, because this really takes work and effort and time. This is not an overnight thing. You have to really put yourself into this work.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I couldn't have done it without going to therapy at the same time that I was
Hmm.
learning these things. I had to go to therapy. I did not have the tools to do this on
Right.
my own.
Right.
So, as we talk about like these things that you need to do to try to prepare yourself for a new year, to try to get your mind right, to try to make those shifts,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to also encourage you to consider therapy alongside with this. Because your
Yes.
therapist is going to likely tell you a lot of the things that we're sharing with you anyway.
Right.
You know, get a journal. As you said, you have your clients get journals and do brain dump, which I'm
Mm-hmm.
about to start doing. So, just thinking about those things that, if you want to have any level of evolving in your life,
Hmm.
you have to commit to yourself.
Hmm.
You have to. I need us to stop focusing on other people. I need us to stop focusing on all these other things.
Mm-hmm.
I need us to start to focus on ourselves.
Right.
Because what's the advantage of focusing on yourself? Well, you're going to have healthier relationships,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which leads to lasting relationships, which help. For me, that was a huge help because being single and being married a couple of times, what I learned was I was the person that was in my way.
Mm. Hmm.
I was the person that was in my way. And so I needed to learn me and understand me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what are some things that keep showing up for you, Kia?
Right. Right. Right.
Right?
Right.
I've learned to ask myself these questions. What things keep showing up for you, Kia? right? What things do people keep saying to you about you,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm literally going through that motion with myself so that I can do the work.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not willing to do that, then you're going to keep having the same issues repeat itself over and over and over again.
Yep.
If you
You gonna
go
be
into 2024, if I hear another single person say, well, they did this to me and they did that to me and they cheated on me and they hurt me, and let it go. You have to heal from that. You
yep.
have to release yourself from that trauma and that pain.
Yep.
And then you're not the victim,
Take
because you were
responsibility.
you were a part of that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we stay too long.
Right.
Sometimes we never had any business being there at all.
Right.
Sometimes we saw all the signs and we ignored them.
Right.
I need you to honor the fact that you saw that shit and
Right.
you stayed.
Right.
And then when they did the one big thing, now you the victim. Don't
Right.
work
Right.
like
Right.
that. Doesn't
Right.
work
Right.
like that. It doesn't. We are grown people making decisions, and if that decision impacts us poorly, you don't get to blame them.
Right.
It doesn't help you. It's not
Right.
good. And so you're going to find yourself in another situation just like that
Right.
because you refuse to own your shit,
Right.
take accountability, and
Right.
change.
Right.
Because that has to happen. And
Mm-hmm.
so the next thing I want to talk about is vision boards. Create
Mm-hmm.
something that you can visually see so you can
Yes.
start visualizing your life looking different.
Yes. Yes.
I very quickly I want to share with you all that I say this often. As a kid, I visualized my life.
Hmm.
I remember writing in my, and I've shared this maybe here before. I wrote in my senior yearbook how I saw my life. I'm reading that book several years ago, and I'm like, wow, you were doing this years ago before there was
Hmm.
a name for it,
Right.
before anybody was
Right.
talking about it like
Right.
that.
Right.
You were manifesting and you
Mm-hmm.
were creating the life you wanted by writing it years
Mm-hmm.
ago and didn't know it.
Hmm.
I wrote what career I would be in. I wrote what car I would drive,
Hmm.
or the type of car I would drive, the type of house I would have, the the possibility of a husband. I wrote out my life at 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
17, 18, I knew what I wanted and I visualized it. And I'm looking at my life now and I'm like, this is exactly
Hmm.
what I wrote. It's exactly the way that I wrote it. I
Right.
got one less kid that I birthed, but I got two kids like I wrote in
Right.
that journal
Wow.
because I got my nephew.
Yeah.
So I got two kids like I wrote.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote that I was going to have a convertible. I had a convertible.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had all the things that I wrote in that book. So the point is, there is great value in creating a vision board,
Mm-hmm.
creating
Oh
something
my
that you can
gosh, yes.
visualize, right?
And even then, because I remember when I spoke and I was in high school, and I remember telling my mother, I'm going to be a single mom with two boys. Because I couldn't see the fact, I couldn't see that I just, my whole thing with dating men was an issue. And so I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, no, I'm going to have two boys, and I don't even know why I even said that shit. Like, right? Like, but I created that.
Yeah,
I created that, and
that's
I
how powerful
exactly
it
had,
is.
yes, and I exactly had that, And then that vision board, I did a vision board because I did, and I one year I did a vision board, and I was like, that was one of the best things I could have done. Like it really
Mm-hmm.
made me, because what again, it makes you sit down, it makes you be present with yourself,
Yep.
and you ask yourself, what do I see for this next season of my life,
Yep.
right? The season could be 6 months, the season could be a year, the season could be like in the next 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you choose for your next season? And I put on there that I was gonna pass my test.
Hmm.
I put on there. I had put walls on there, but I cut the walls like in a because I was breaking down the walls that I had in my life, like all the walls,
Mm.
all the barriers that I kept from myself, right? All the barriers, all the ways that I shut myself, like I'm not gonna do this because whatever, whatever. Well, those are walls I was creating for myself because now I
Yeah.
can't open the door for nothing else,
Yeah.
right? For an experience that, like, just an experience. And so I put the little walls up and stuff. That was the best. That was like one of the best things I could have done.
Yeah, I'm glad you talked about how you told your mom that you were gonna have two kids and be a single mom. Cause I want to hit on that. You know, we're talking about how to manifest the good, but let's talk about how some of
When you
us
manifest,
are manifesting things that keep showing up in our lives. Right?
yes.
For instance, I had someone tell me, "I'm gonna be single forever," and this person just kept repeating it to me, like,
Hmm.
"I'm gonna be single forever. I'm gonna be single forever," and I was like, I really need you to be careful. You
What you
keep
say?
repeating that, and you don't really understand how dangerous that is. Because if you don't mean that, right? Because they were trying to make me believe that,
Right, right.
but I could very easily tell that is not what they
What
want,
they want.
right?
Yeah.
And I was like, don't say things you don't mean, because like that's not helping you.
Hmm.
Don't say things. If you want a relationship, that's
Speak
fine.
that you want it.
Speak that you want that. And I
Hmm.
think we have to stop trying to put on this facade and this fakeness about, I don't want it because that makes me appear to be weak, or like, we're meant to have connection with people.
Hmm.
We're meant to have love.
Right.
So if, but again, it might not be for you. If it's
Right.
not, if it's really
It's
truly
okay.
not, that's
Right.
okay.
It's
I'm
okay.
not trying to force love on you and
Right.
relationships on you.
Right.
But don't say things you don't mean. That's the
Hmm.
point of what I'm
Because you
saying.
will create that
You will get exactly
what you
what you
asked for.
speak. You'll get that. You'll be single forever. All men won't be anything. All women won't be anything. You won't see happiness because you keep saying it. And
Hmm.
that's what will come into your life.
Yes, you're speaking it. You're
My
speaking
life
it.
can't get any worse than this. Oh, okay.
But they say, hold my beer. That's why I don't say that. So I have, I don't know if I've shared before, I probably have, that I do energy work, right?
Uh-huh.
And so instead of saying, you know, when something happens, like your car gets a flat and you be like, oh, what else could go wrong? Why would you ask that question? Because usually what happens is something else goes wrong. Then you like, see, I knew something else was going wrong. No, you said it. That's why you knew something
Yeah.
was going wrong. But it was another one that they gave me. It's like, how does it get any better than this? How does it get any better than this?
I use it all the time.
Oh my gosh. I just did I tell you, like, my car went flat the other night, last two
Mm-mm.
weeks ago. Girl, I was driving down a road that was dark, and there was no. I was trying to, and I didn't realize my GPS was on no freeways. It was on back roads. I didn't know that, and so what had happened was I was on a back road, and you know the back roads is where the trucks are. So it was a big old pothole. Okay, it was a big old pothole. I hit that pothole like bow, right, and I
In
looked at
your
the
little
side.
bitty car.
It's like this. I got a little. Y'all got a little Honda Fit. I do like this. When I park, I put it in my pocket and go inside to work. Girl, that mug said pop, and I was like, and I immediately looked at my dashboard. I was like, please don't say no. And that light popped on, like, boop, your tire is fucked up. That's what this thing said. Boop, your tire is fucked up. And I was like, oh. So I'm in the dark. I pull over, and at first it was crazy because at first I wanted to cry, right? I wanted to cry, and I was like, I don't, because again, I'm a single woman in the dark. These trucks are driving past me. The cars driving past me, and I was like, this is the time I want to have somebody I want to be with, and I could have called them to call me to save me, to save me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Then I was like, So my brother, I called my brother. I was like, brother, can you get my son? Because I was going to get my son. Can you get my son, brother? And he was like, yeah. He was like, you call Triple A. I was like, no, I'm about to fix this tire myself. And he was like, yeah, but how about you still call Chip? Because again, I do this thing where I'm like, I don't, um, I, I do this thing where I can handle it all. I can handle it, right? I said, no, brother, I got it. I can do this. I can do this. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And he was like, yeah, but how about you call AAA? Just, my brother's like, how about you just call AAA? Just go ahead and call them while you're still doing that, okay? Love
Yeah.
my brother. I freaking love how he talks to me, right? Because I love that and I'm like, yes, brother. But here's the thing. I got AAA. Why
Yeah.
the hell am I sitting there doing that myself? I got the
Yeah.
pretty nails on. I just got my nails on. I was like, oh, I can do it myself. No, I
Yeah.
don't have to. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay because that's what I call. That's why I pay AAA every month to
Yeah.
do this. I pay them every month. And guess what? Because I have to look at again what's right about this. I'm not getting. There was a time when I couldn't afford AAA. There was a time when I couldn't afford. I just got brand new tires. There was a time I couldn't afford brand new tires. I had to get used ones. And because I did have brand new tires, they had a warranty on it. So I took it right back to the spot and got me a new tire.
Yeah.
So I had to look at where I've
Mm-hmm.
come from. I couldn't sit in the oh woe is me. But why? Why would I do that? Why would I sit in the
Mm-hmm.
woe is me when there was no woe is me to sit in?
Yeah.
Right? There was no woe is me to sit in. I was really blessed because I was able to. And then when the AAA, then my because my mother's husband got me this little flashlight, right? But the flashlight, you can see the stars with the flashlight. You be like, oh look at the left star right there, right? And so when the AAA man came, and it got like 10 different settings, right? So I was like, press it and be like, choo choo, choo choo, I'm right here. Pa, pa, pa. It was like blinking. I was like, I'm set. Like,
Babe, I need a flashlight in the car.
he gave me one that was long. He gave me one. I don't know where that one is. He gave me a long one, but I kept dropping it. But it was a long one, and it was a metal one. And again, it got the flash. I could down the street, and I pull it out a little bit down the street, and then I close it in. It's like big and stuff, girl. And then, but it was also a stick. So I came to me. I'm like, bah, like
Yeah.
I'm spitting. I'm like, bah, like so. It was a stick, flashlight, safety. I was set. I was set. And this little one got little edges around, so if anybody get real close, I'm like, right there.
So you was covered on all ends. Basically, that's the point.
Want to do it? Want to do it?
So I want to talk about like the woe is me thing because
Yes.
so because here's what happens when you go to the woe is me stage, and this is the benefit of journaling. This is the benefit of stopping and sitting with yourself sometimes.
Yes.
Because traditionally, for a long time, that's what you did, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And what we think is we can
Often.
just instantly break habits.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what happens though when you're committed to knowing more of who you are and making those changes and committed to healing. Here's what happens. You went into woe is me mode, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, woe is me. Oh my God, I don't have a man. I can't call anybody.
I
But
need
what
to be
happens?
saved.
Yes, I need to be saved. But this shift happens because you've been working on that, right? You've been working on identifying, but I'm in a position to afford AAA, but I'm not where I used to be. I have new tires. I have a warranty on it. I can get this tire replaced. Like, so you can quickly transition from that mindset
Mm-hmm.
to this other mindset
Mm-hmm.
of positivity, reflection,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So what we don't realize is we can sometimes be looking for somebody to save us,
Mm-hmm.
and we're the person. We
We
are
it.
the
We it.
person to
We
save
it.
us.
Yes.
Nobody is going to save you. Even when I was single before I got into a relationship, I had to understand that I was already whole. I would
Mm-hmm.
say things like, I'm looking for my other half. I am this half and that half. I'm the whole,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, what I like to say is anybody that comes in my life is extra credit.
Hmm. I love
Okay?
that extra credit.
Anybody that comes, friend,
Hmm.
relationship, what It's extra credit.
Hmm.
Cause I'm already 100.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
already 100.
Yep.
So you coming into my life makes you extra credit in my life. I'm
Yes.
already whole. I already got a hundred
Yes.
percent. So when you
Yes.
think like that and you believe that, because
Mm-hmm.
you have to believe it too,
Right.
right? Which
Right.
also takes work. But you have to believe that so that you can step into that, the spirit of that,
Right.
right? And when you step into the spirit of I'm 100, you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna attract another 100,
100.
right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
that extra credit is that's triple as far as I'm
Mm-hmm.
concerned. It's like, oh, I'm 100. This person is 100. Woo! That's how I'm living. That's my value system for
Mm-hmm.
anybody in my life now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is my value system for anybody in my life.
Right.
I'm 100. You have to be 100. You have to
Mm-hmm.
be extra credit. Otherwise, what do I need you for?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't need you to take away my 100. See, if you come in and you 20, you're getting ready to deplete me. You're getting ready to take from me. And I'm aware of that now. I didn't used to be aware of that. So
Mm-hmm.
people would come and take and pull and no,
Oh, and you
I'm
be
100.
tired. Oh, and you be tired at the end of the day. You
Like,
be
why am
tired.
I tired? Why am I drained? Because I
Mm-hmm.
let you come over here with your 20
Mm-hmm.
and I started with 100.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm in the negative. No, we won't be doing that.
Right.
Sirs and ma'ams, we won't be doing that
At all.
at all. So
At
we
all.
need you to visualize the life you want to have going
Mm.
forward in this next season.
Yes.
We need you to
Yes.
write out your goals. We need you to write out your affirmations. We need you to commit to journaling because you deserve all of those things.
Mm.
What does the next season of your life look like?
Mm.
When you look back at your 2023, and many of us haven't journaled in 2023. So it's
Mm.
going to be a very quick recap that's just going to go through your head quickly. And a lot of times when we do that, what do we focus on? The negative.
The negative.
So you might potentially do that and say, my 2023 was horrible. Guess what would happen if you journaled?
Mm.
Your journal would give you a different story.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
would show you something totally different. So now
Right.
going forward in 2024, write out these things at the end of the year next year. You can look at it and say, wow,
Right.
look at where I've come. Because
Right.
the fact that it's December 2023 is beyond me. Because I'm like,
I blinked
damn,
and I was like, whoa, in December.
this year went by so quick.
In December. Mm-hmm.
So I've already made some very, very strong commitments
Mm.
for 2024.
Yes.
I mean, I've made some strong commitments. And so what is it that you're willing to miss out on
Mm.
so that your growth is at the forefront
Mm.
of your life
Mm.
going forward?
Mm.
Like, what are you willing to let go of? What are
Mm.
you willing to release? What are
Mm.
you willing to work towards? What are
Yes.
you willing to, dig deep on as it
Yep.
relates to yourself? Because something has to change.
Mm-hmm.
If you're telling the same story that you told last year at this time,
Every year. Every year. Every year. You tell them the same story.
you don't have to listen to everything I'm saying, but I am going to tell you at least think about that question. If your
Mm.
life looks the same way as it
Mm.
looked 365 days ago, if what we're saying to you
Mm.
resonates in any way, we're just saying try it. Just give it a try.
Right.
Or
If you
not.
want to. If you want to.
Or
I
not.
mean, you ain't got to. Because listen. If it's working for you, keep it. If it ain't working for you, try something different. I mean, you ain't got to, but sometimes people want a little different in their
Yeah.
life. Sometimes people want a little different in their life.
People are going to do what they want to do, and we
And
realize
that,
that,
and that's
and that's
okay.
okay.
And we
Yeah.
love it. Because look it, again, just think like you are in control of your own life.
Mm-hmm.
You're in
Yep.
control of your own life. Like you are literally in control. You literally make choices every day to determine where your life goes and where it's going to lead. You do.
Mm-hmm.
Yay! Like that's an amazing like awareness that I choose for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yay.
Yeah. Um, and I think for a long time I didn't even realize that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I really didn't think that I was in control of my life and what was happening around me. And I was like, oh my God, they did this to me. And oh my God, this happened to me. And no, I made decisions and choices that got me to that space.
Right.
And so, like, once we acknowledge the fact that it's really up to us,
Yes.
and we have all the power,
Mm-hmm.
then, we'll see things through a different set of lenses.
Right. Right.
I have to wear these glasses to see.
Right.
And what happens and what happened during that moment of shifting in my life was like me putting the glasses on, clarity,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
understanding,
Mm-hmm.
right? And sometimes that's why we're so confused and we
Mm.
can't figure out which way we want to go, is because we're not getting clear.
And you know what I found too? Sometimes we live too much for everybody else's life.
Mm-hmm.
We make choices based off of what somebody else gonna think about me.
Mm-hmm.
We make choices, and so therefore there's the oh my gosh, like the lack of clarity because my decision is contingent on how you see me.
Talk
When
about
your
it.
when
Talk
your
about it.
life is not contingent on somebody else's point of view about what you choose for yourself, then you
Mm-hmm.
have the glasses on, you have clarity because then you make a decision for you, no matter what anybody else thinks. This is your life. You pay your own bills. You in your own spot. I tell the girls at the group home because they be trying to make me do. They be trying to make me do, and I have to tell them, nobody makes you do anything. Nobody is making you do anything. You choose to do it. And so they're
Mm-hmm.
like, no, no. When they say I got to do this, and you can choose to do it or you can choose not to do it. It's still your
Mm-hmm.
choice.
Yeah.
If you choose to do it, will it work out or will it like be to your detriment? Like if you don't, I'm like, you have to determine for you what will work best for you. But
Yeah.
don't do it based off of because they feel like they're in control. Especially like people like I thought you would. And they be like, I still chose to do it because I wanted to do it, not because
Exactly.
you said it. But okay, I
Yeah.
mean, whatever. Right? They're like, I thought you would. Oh, okay. Well. But I guess that comes with maturity, right? Growing up and getting a little older too. You were like,
Yeah.
now I just look at people like,
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you have that. I'm gonna let you have that. Like, whatever.
it worked for me, so I'm just gonna do it.
you know, I'm so happy you said that. I'm so, because I think that's huge for us as people. Live the authentic, true life you want to
For
live
you,
for you.
because
You don't have.
when you leave this life, will you be able to say, "I lived a life that I chose for me"?
Mm-hmm.
Or will you say I lived it based off what society wanted me to do, or my family wanted me to do, or how somebody else wanted to do? I notice it's a lot of people that have like, as a therapist, I notice it's a lot of people that be like, I got bipolar. But then when we sit there and talk about it, right, about what are their triggers and everything, it's like I have noticed, and I'm not saying all of them, because sometimes there is a brain chemistry thing going on. But in majority of the cases, it's because they're not even living their full potential life for themselves. They're too busy thinking like, but somebody else might think, but what if? But my friend want me to, because then we start following what our friends want to be, like how they, like,
Mm-hmm.
it's like this subconscious thing that people do, right? And they be like, you go do that? Like they'll say something like that, and you be like, oh, maybe I
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't. Then you second guess yourself. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should call them and see what my decision is. Maybe I should call
Yeah.
somebody and see what they think, right?
Yeah.
I did that.
I was gonna say I was good for that back in the day. Calling some, I called 4 or 5 people. So what you think about? So what you think about? So what you think about? Like, and by the end of it, I'm more confused than I was when I started. And by the time I finally make a decision, it's still not what I wanted to do. So at the end of the day, do what it is you want to do. Like, you spend all
Right.
that time and energy trying to find out what everybody else thinks and what their opinion is. And what that means is you're not appreciating and valuing your own ideas, thoughts, and beliefs.
Right. Life is like, I tell my clients, like, life is like a science experiment. A science experiment, there's no right or wrong. You have a
Mm-hmm.
hypothesis. You're like, okay, if I put this and this together, then this should happen. That's how life is. If I choose this, this should happen. And then you try it. And then you be like, oh, that didn't happen like that. So now I'm going to go back to the drawing board and I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
try something different. Like, let's see what else I can choose
Yeah,
instead. It doesn't mean you're wrong. It doesn't mean you're bad. It just means that that choice didn't work. Now choose something different.
exactly.
You are okay. You are not crazy. Listen, you ain't fucked up as you think you are. You're welcome. I mean, but some people want to be fucked up. So you know what? The ones that want to be fucked up, you fucked up.
You made the choice. You settled. Okay.
Stay in it. Switch around in it a little bit.
I can't with you. Okay. That was really, really good. That was really good. So the last thing I wanted to hit on before we close out, because you see the hourglass,
These
we're
are the hands of time, and so
we're
are the days of our
of our
lives.
lives, and we're getting there. Okay. So the last thing I wanted to touch on is for those that are struggling with connecting with having a great tribe, connecting with people that are aligned with where you are in life. I want to encourage you to join social groups that are aligned with where you are. Don't go and do things that aren't aligned. Don't go to places that aren't aligned with who you are, where you're trying to go, and who you're trying to be. Because then you're going to still complain.
Because
I
you're going to be
can't,
in the wrong spot.
I can't meet good people. I can't.
Yep.
It's not going to happen by you going to the wrong place. And I'm getting ready to say something to the single people. I'm going to whisper it.
What you gonna say? Go ahead.
If you want to meet somebody, you got to go outside.
I don't want to go outside. I'm going to stay in the room. And they go knock on my door. I'm going to stay in the room.
Your man is not coming to knock on the door. You
Why?
have to go outside. You have
But
to
still,
get out and meet people.
listen to
Your
another
woman
person.
is not going to come and knock on the door. You have to go outside. Okay?
Stay inside. Send a telepathic
So
message.
they have meetup.com.
Mhm.
They have other social groups and organizations that you can join. When I first moved here, I joined the National Black Association. Look, you have to. What if she works for DoorDash? Really, Don?
Order some more food.
Really? He's like, she brought my food to me. That's my
She
woman.
knocked
Really,
on the
Don?
door. There she is. Hey, you can knock on the door and leave though.
That is so funny.
You like, I'm about to order some DoorDash right now. Okay, that went in. I'm about to order something else.
But yes, so and Tam said, truth is, it's about effort.
Right.
Look, it's all of those things. It's cumulative, right?
And
all of it.
And once you start doing things that you enjoy doing and living your life and enjoying the things that you're choosing for your life, you'll find your tribe as a result of that.
Yeah.
So for instance, I joined the yacht club, right? Because I like the water. I don't have no yacht. Y'all don't have no yacht. But I like the fact that I get to choose to be on somebody else's yacht. And I also like the fact that I meet people that have money, that have financial knowledge too. So I can have conversations with them. So so my tribe doesn't have to just look like this, right? So because I have a tribe of different types of people in my life. on what
That
I
part.
choose to have in my life. So yes, I have my weirdos like that, like like my kid. We like till we cry and bust a gut, right? And then I have my ones that's like, okay, let's talk about this. So I have different tribes that do different things,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then some tribes like some tribes this is, and then like my coach tribe is the ones that I can just be myself with and be goofy and be, and then there's the ones that I learn from. And so
Yes.
there's different tribes. You don't have to have one tribe, guys.
Yeah.
You don't have to do one tribe, guys. You do multiple tribes.
And I mean, with you joining even the yacht club, I mean, I think that that's an amazing testament, even to being like, I want to be around even the things that I don't have right now, but being in that energy, right? That
Yes,
helps, right? It
yes,
generates something
yes.
within us. And
Mm-hmm.
I think like those are things that we don't even consider or we don't think about. I just joined the Classy Stick Society, which is a society for women who smoke cigars,
Mm-hmm.
and we keep it classy, and
Yep.
etiquette is important and those types of things. And it's be around people that are in alignment with where you are, where you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to go. Because let's just be honest, the clubs for me are just not my place anymore.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to go there for a birthday party or for an event or just a one-off here and there, okay, but I don't feel like that's going to be the place for me
Mm-hmm.
based on where I am in life right now, based
Mm-hmm.
on where I'm trying to go in life, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I think we have to be open,
Mm-hmm.
to
Think outside the
exploration.
box.
Be okay with exploration. Be okay even with walking in a place by yourself and meeting new
Mm-hmm.
people. That's
Mm-hmm.
going to be helpful. But
Mm-hmm.
we can't complain about the same things 365 days from now. If
Mm-hmm.
you're having the same struggle, you're saying the same thing 1 year from now,
Mm-hmm.
then we need to probably dig a little bit deeper.
Right, camera.
And go ahead, cousin.
Oh, Tamara said, exposure to new things and new experiences is fun. You never know who you will meet. Exactly. Man, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's important.
Mm-hmm. And
Like
it,
get
it just
get
it
get
just
the exposure.
expands everything. Yes. And again it shifts the energy. Like it really shifts the energy of you when you open a door to something else.
Mhm.
Like it can create so much more, right? That little crack in the door you open, you be like, whoa. And it can create so much more in your life that you never thought you could experience.
Mhm.
I love it. I love it. I like it a lot. Like it a lot.
I like it a lot.
I like it a lot. I like it. I like it a lot.
So here's where I want to end. And then I'm going to let you end. Before 2024 gets here, before it arrives, before we get to the last week of the year, like we wanted to talk about this before all of the holidays come, before all the hustle bustle of everybody talking about create this, create that, do this. It's probably still less noise right now. So sit with yourself. Just sit with yourself. Commit to doing that every day for the next, 25 days until we get to the end of this year. Just sit with yourself. Take those 10 or 15 minutes. Take the time to meditate, to journal, to write out your goals, to write out your affirmations. And you ain't got to write your husband affirmations or your wife affirmations like me, but write out specifically what you want in a mate, what you want in your tribe,
Mm-hmm.
what you want in your life. Write it out so that you can see those things truly manifest in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And keep the right people, places, and things in your life as you go into the new season. You know, we just moved recently and there were some things I had to throw away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some cute stuff, some nice things. And sometimes we hold on to things and people and places for too long. In order for you to get aligned differently, you might have to release some people, some places, and some things. Time to
Mm-hmm.
get focused, time to realign, time to do the necessary things for your. This is a season of you. This is a season of you. Take care of yourself.
Yes,
If you're in a
yes.
relationship, take care of your relationship and nurture that relationship. If you're married, continue to do the things that got you to that place of getting married. If you're single, focus on yourself in this season so that you are well equipped for whoever and whatever enters your life. You deserve it.
Yes,
We want you to
yes.
be happy. We want you to have a positive, healthy relationship with yourself first, though. And then you're going to attract that wonderful, amazing woman or man in your life. And you're going to be like, remember when Kia and Shamika was saying, write down my goals and write down my affirmations and put it on my vision board? Look at my life. Watch out now.
Right. Won't you do it? Won't you do it?
All right. What you got to
Yes.
say, Shamika?
I gotta say that all of life comes to us with ease and joy and glory. How does it get any better than this?
How about we take a breath?
2 counts. 2 breaths. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. Now breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Until next time, you guys. Thanks for joining us. Subscribe to the YouTube page. And until next time, peace.
Cheers.
Seeing eyes of mine, you see. There are no trees inside. There are no trees inside.